The tension between Drake and Kendrick Lamar has been simmering for months, and tonight, it looks like it's about to boil over. Fans have been speculating about a second showdown ever since their first verbal sparring captured headlines and sent the internet into chaos. Social media is already buzzing, with every clip, lyric, and interview dissected for hidden messages. But what's about to happen tonight isn't just another rap battle or studio session. It's a high-stakes confrontation that could have serious consequences for both artists, their legacies, and the culture at large. Drake has always been strategic, calculating, and unafraid to respond when he feels challenged. But the problem is that Kendrick isn't just any opponent. He's an artist whose approach is layered, unpredictable, and historically devastating in moments like this. While Drake may feel confident riding the momentum of his recent tracks and viral moments, Kendrick thrives in situations where reputation, intellect, and timing are on the line. Trying to start round 2 tonight is not just ambitious. It's risky, and sources close to the situation suggest that things may not go the way Drake hopes. The stakes are even higher because this isn't happening in a vacuum. Fans are already polarized, media outlets are speculating non-stop, and every move either artist makes will be scrutinized on a global scale. Social media algorithms are primed to amplify conflict, and any misstep could be replayed endlessly. This isn't just about ego, it's about cultural perception, legacy, and who controls the narrative. One slip tonight could shift the conversation entirely. Industry insiders hint that there are already tensions behind the scenes. Studio sources report heated debates over strategy, track placement, and timing. Drake's camp believes he has momentum, but Kendrick's team reportedly sees opportunity, the kind that can turn a reaction into a historical moment. It's a clash of preparation versus instinct, hype versus artistry, and while fans may cheer for drama, both artists are playing with reputations they've spent years building. Tonight isn't just another headline. It's potentially a defining moment for both Drake and Kendrick. If Drake underestimates Kendrick's approach or misreads the energy, it could backfire spectacularly. And with millions watching, one wrong move could dominate conversations for months. The world is about to witness the collision of 2 rap titans, and history suggests that only one will come out looking untouchable. The question is, will Drake's confidence hold? Or will Kendrick remind everyone why he's considered one of the most formidable forces in hip-hop today? Ever since the first round of tension between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, fans have been waiting for the next explosive moment. The internet thrives on conflict, especially when it involves 2 of hip-hop's biggest names, and this latest development has the culture buzzing in a way that only a showdown like this can generate. Drake, known for his calculated moves, high-profile collaborations, and ability to dominate social media, seems poised to attempt round 2 tonight. But those who have been watching Kendrick's career know that taking him lightly is a mistake. Kendrick doesn't just respond to challenges. He dismantles them in ways that shift narratives, set trends, and leave lasting impressions. The dynamics here are not just personal. They are cultural, strategic, and potentially career-defining. Drake's confidence is understandable. He's been riding a wave of commercial success, streaming dominance, and mainstream influence that few artists can match. Every release seems to dominate playlists, trending charts, and social media chatter. He's built a brand that thrives on engagement, controversy, and visibility. But the problem is, momentum isn't everything, especially when your opponent is someone as lyrically precise and conceptually laid as Kendrick. Momentum can carry you into a miscalculation, a moment of overconfidence, or track that misses the mark. And in hip-hop, missing the mark against someone like Kendrick can be catastrophic, because fans, critics, and fellow artists all notice. Kendrick, on the other hand, operates differently. His approach is rarely reactive in the way Drake sometimes is. Kendrick has spent his career crafting narratives that go beyond immediate trends, embedding social commentary, storytelling, and technical mastery into every track. Where Drake often engages with culture in real time, Kendrick's strength lies in his ability to anticipate, analyze, and execute responses that resonate on multiple levels, lyrically, conceptually, and emotionally. That means that any move Drake makes tonight isn't happening in isolation. It's happening in a context where Kendrick's strategy is informed, deliberate, and often devastatingly effective. The internet is already amplifying every hint, clip, or leak about tonight's confrontation. Social media has exploded with speculation, memes, and debates about who will come out on top. Every fan has an opinion, and every opinion adds pressure. Drake's camp is aware that public perception matters as much as lyrical skill in these moments. A single misstep, a poorly received verse, or a reaction that doesn't land could dominate headlines, overshadowing weeks of promotion and strategic positioning. Meanwhile, Kendrick's camp is reportedly observing quietly, knowing that anticipation and precision are powerful tools when deployed correctly. Sources close to the artist suggest that the tension behind the scenes is intense. Studio sessions have reportedly been heated, with debates over timing, track order, and lyrical content pushing both camps to their limits. Drake's team believes that his recent hits give him leverage and confidence, but Kendrick's team sees an opportunity, the kind of opening that can turn a confident opponent into someone reacting defensively. It's not just about who writes the better verse. It's about momentum, narrative control, and psychological strategy. Hip-hop history has shown that battles are won as much in perception as they are in execution. The stakes are amplified by the public's obsession with victory and failure. Fans don't just want music. They want drama, commentary, and proof that their favorite artist is untouchable. Media outlets are already speculating endlessly, framing every teaser as a prelude to a clash that could dominate cultural conversation for months. And in this environment, a misstep isn't just embarrassing. It becomes a defining moment. Drake, aware of the stakes, may feel compelled to assert himself aggressively. But history suggests that assertiveness without precision, especially against someone like Kendrick, is risky. There's also a psychological dimension at play. Drake thrives on reaction. He reads the culture, measures sentiment, and responds in ways that maximize attention. But Kendrick thrives on anticipation, crafting responses that are calculated, layered, and impactful long after the initial moment. Tonight, Drake's instinct to strike first could clash with Kendrick's patience and strategy, creating a scenario where confidence meets calculation in a high-pressure environment. And in hip-hop, moments like these don't just pass. They're dissected, memed, and replayed endlessly, adding layers of pressure to every line and gesture. As the evening approaches, fans are bracing for what could be one of the most scrutinized musical moments of the year. Every lyric, cadence, and delivery will be analyzed not just for skill but for intention. Drake's attempt to start round 2 is ambitious, but ambition alone doesn't guarantee success. Kendrick's history suggests that precision, patience, and psychological insight often outweigh raw momentum. For Drake, tonight isn't just about proving himself to the public. It's about navigating a battle where one wrong move could redefine narratives in ways that are difficult to recover from. The first round may have set the stage, but tonight, the spotlight is brighter, the stakes are higher, and the pressure is unbearable. Drake has the talent, the platform, and the resources to make an impact, but is stepping into a confrontation with one of the most formidable forces in modern hip-hop. And history shows that when precision meets confidence under the public eye, the outcome isn't always predictable. And for Drake, the potential to falter is as real as the potential to triumph. Tonight is about more than ego. It's about legacy, strategy, and the high-stakes collision of two rap titans at the peak of their powers. As anticipation built for the potential showdown between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, insiders began sharing details that revealed just how high the stakes really were. This isn't simply a case of two rappers trading bars or hyping up a moment for social media clout. It's a collision between two of hip-hop's most influential forces, each operating with vastly different philosophies and approaches to craft, strategy, and legacy. While Drake often relies on immediate cultural relevance, chart-topping melodies, and viral moments to assert dominance, Kendrick's approach is methodical, layered, and conceptually precise. That contrast creates a situation where momentum alone is unlikely to guarantee victory. Sources close to both camps say that the tension has been palpable even in casual studio environments. Sessions reportedly involved heated discussions over track sequencing, lyrical emphasis, and even the timing of leaks. Drake's team believes that he holds the upper hand thanks to the string of hits and viral moments he has delivered over the past year. The perception of momentum, in Drake's eyes, is power, a validation that he can respond to Kendrick effectively. But Kendrick's camp reportedly views this confidence as an opportunity. In his world, patience and precision often outperform bravado, and even the smallest miscalculation by an opponent can be turned into a strategic advantage. The public reaction has been as intense as the behind-the-scenes preparations. Social media is ablaze with speculation, memes, and analysis of every snippet, interview, and lyric that could be interpreted as a prelude to tonight's clash. Fans are polarized, creating echo chambers where even minor details are magnified into narrative-shaping events. This environment places enormous pressure on Drake. In addition to executing lyrically, he must navigate a global audience watching every move, every inflection, and every reaction. A single misstep can spiral into months of debate, memes, and viral commentary, all of which affect public perception of his dominance in the culture. Meanwhile, Kendrick's approach is calculated to withstand that type of scrutiny. He doesn't need to react immediately or chase trends. Instead, he studies cultural momentum, observes patterns, and delivers responses with precision that extends far beyond the initial moment. It's this methodology that has allowed him to consistently outmaneuver competitors and secure his reputation as one of the most formidable figures in modern hip-hop. Tonight, insiders suggest, Kendrick will likely let the energy build, waiting for Drake to commit fully before delivering moves that have been meticulously planned. This dynamic creates a high-risk scenario for Drake, whose instinct is often to act decisively and dominate in real time. The psychological dimensions of this battle are significant. Drake has always excelled at reading the room, understanding public sentiment, and leveraging viral attention to his advantage. His social media presence, streaming strategy, and collaborations are all part of a carefully crafted machine that maximizes visibility and cultural relevance. However, this reliance on real-time reaction may work against him tonight. Kendrick thrives in controlled environments, where patience, narrative structuring, and lyrical depth can be leveraged to create impact. In other words, Drake's strengths may simultaneously expose vulnerabilities that Kendrick can exploit. Industry insiders also note that tonight's confrontation is about more than personal pride or competition. It's about cultural perception, legacy, and the control of hip-hop's narrative. Drake has long been aware that public opinion can shape the way history remembers an artist. A miscalculation tonight could shift narratives not just for a week or a month, but for years. Kendrick's historical consistency and careful approach make him uniquely positioned to capitalize on any errors, ensuring that the stakes remain astronomical for Drake. Beyond strategy and reputation, this confrontation highlights the tension between artistry and ego in hip-hop. Drake's confidence is both his greatest asset and potential weakness. He brings charisma, lyrical talent, and cultural influence. But confidence can blind even the most experienced artist to subtle cues, strategic missteps, and laid responses from a tactical opponent. Kendrick, by contrast, balances confidence with meticulous planning, creating a scenario in which the more visibly aggressive party risks overextension. Fans may cheer for energy and bravado, but history has repeatedly shown that precision often outlasts intensity in defining moments. As the night approaches, the pressure has reached an almost unbearable level. Every track snippet, every social media post, every interview, and every tweet is scrutinized, dissected, and amplified. Drake is stepping into a highly charged environment where anticipation alone can influence outcomes, and one misstep could dominate headlines, memes, and fan discussions for months. The psychological burden of performing under such conditions is immense, even for an artist of his experience and stature. Meanwhile, Kendrick's camp is reportedly calm, confident that strategic restraint and well-timed execution will tilt the balance in their favor. Ultimately, this isn't just a story about two rappers trading verses. It's about legacy, strategy, and perception in a culture where moments are amplified and missteps are magnified. Drake may feel ready to start round 2, but insiders warn that confidence alone isn't enough. The contrast in approach, philosophy, and execution style makes tonight's encounter unpredictable and extremely high stakes. Fans around the world are watching, media outlets are preparing coverage, and both artists face a scenario that could define not only tonight but their ongoing positions in hip-hop history. Tonight will test not just skill and strategy, but judgment, timing, and emotional control. Drake has the tools to make an impact, but Kendrick's history of precision, patience, and calculated responses creates a scenario where ambition could easily collide with risk. The world is watching closely. Tonight isn't just another moment. It's a defining collision between two of the genre's most influential forces, and the outcome will reverberate far beyond the immediate headlines. As the tension between Drake and Kendrick Lamar escalated, the focus on tonight's potential confrontation shifted from casual speculation to serious analysis among fans, industry insiders, and cultural commentators. What began as a narrative of competition and rivalry has evolved into a complex scenario, blending psychology, strategy, and performance under the highest level of scrutiny. Drake, known for his confident persona and rapid-fire response style, is stepping into an environment where instinct alone may not be sufficient. The stakes aren't just about bars, streams, or chart positions. They're about legacy, perception, and the very narrative of hip-hop in 2026. Drake's approach has always relied heavily on momentum. From surprise drops to viral moments and high-profile collaborations, he understands how to maintain attention, dominate social media, and keep himself at the center of public conversation. This tactical use of visibility allows him to project dominance and confidence, but it can also create pressure. Momentum works best when the audience is engaged and the timing is perfect. Any miscalculation, a misread lyric, a poorly received verse, or a reaction that comes across as forced could quickly undermine his position. Against someone like Kendrick, who rarely missteps under pressure, relying solely on momentum is a risk. Kendrick Lamar, by contrast, thrives in high-pressure situations that reward patience, precision, and calculated execution. His history shows a consistent ability to analyze opponents, anticipate public reception, and craft responses that resonate on multiple levels, lyrically, culturally, and psychologically. Kendrick doesn't rush. He studies, observes, and waits for the right moment to strike. This contrast between Drake's reactive style and Kendrick's deliberate approach creates a unique dynamic. Tonight, Drake may feel the urgency to assert himself early, but that urgency could be turned against him if Kendrick executes with his trademark precision. Social media has amplified the stakes even further. Fans, commentators, and analysts have dissected every snippet, interview, and teaser, creating an environment in which perception can rival performance in importance. The internet's attention economy thrives on speculation, and every move is amplified, memed, and debated endlessly. Drake must now navigate not only Kendrick's craft but also the court of public opinion, a court that thrives on momentum and narrative. Any minor misstep could be blown out of proportion, shaping public perception in ways that outlive the actual performance. Kendrick, aware of this dynamic, can use restraint as a weapon, letting anticipation build and allowing the audience to interpret every moment in his favor. Insiders also highlight the psychological pressure at play. Drake's confidence is a double-edged sword. It gives him presence and control over social energy, but it also makes him susceptible to overextension. In high-stakes environments, emotional control becomes as important as lyrical ability. Kendrick's team reportedly emphasized the power of composure, knowing that calm, precise execution often outweighs immediate aggression. In this matchup, the psychological battlefield may be just as critical as the lyrical one. The ability to manage perception, control timing, and maintain focus under pressure could determine the outcome as much as any verse or hook. Beyond personal competition, tonight's confrontation is about cultural dominance. Hip-hop is a constantly evolving narrative, and moments like these don't just entertain. They shape history. Drake's moves tonight will influence not only his legacy but also broader perceptions of artistry, strategy, and leadership within the genre. Kendrick's precision, in turn, reinforces his reputation as a master of narrative control, able to turn challenges into defining moments. Fans understand that this isn't just a battle of bars. It's a battle for influence, perception, and cultural positioning in a high-stakes arena watched by millions globally. The media narrative surrounding the showdown further heightens the tension. Coverage is already framing the event as a historic clash, with every leaked studio session, Instagram story, and cryptic lyric analyzed for potential foreshadowing. Drake must navigate this media amplification carefully. A single slip could dominate headlines for days, impacting public opinion, social media trends, and even the reception of upcoming projects. Meanwhile, Kendrick's measured approach allows him to control timing and messaging, reinforcing the perception of dominance without unnecessary exposure. At the same time, both artists must consider the broader implications of their moves. Drake's decision to start round 2 isn't simply a response to competition. It's a calculated risk with potential benefits and severe consequences. If executed correctly, he could reinforce his status as one of hip-hop's elite and assert cultural dominance. If executed poorly, it could backfire, leaving him reacting defensively while Kendrick capitalizes on the moment with precision. The stakes are enormous because, in the eyes of fans and industry insiders, the outcome will define how each artist is perceived in 2026 and beyond. Tonight, this is about more than ego. It's about strategy, psychology, and legacy. Drake has the talent, the resources, and the global platform to make a powerful impact. But Kendrick has a record of precision, patience, and ability to turn pressure into advantage. The collision of these two approaches under intense scrutiny makes the situation unpredictable and extremely high stakes. Fans worldwide are watching, waiting for a moment that could define hip-hop for months, if not years. As the evening unfolds, the outcome remains uncertain, but the lessons are clear. In modern hip-hop, raw skill and momentum are powerful, but precision, timing, and psychological insight can be even more decisive. Drake may be ready to strike, but Kendrick's approach suggests that the battle will not be won through confidence alone. Tonight, two rap titans face a high-pressure test of strategy, execution, and perception, and the results will ripple far beyond this moment, shaping narratives, influencing legacies, and redefining cultural hierarchies in ways the world will be talking about long after the last verse drops. As the evening approached, the atmosphere around Drake and Kendrick Lamar's potential showdown became almost electric, both online and behind the scenes. What had started as casual fan speculation had escalated into a high-stakes scenario that involved strategy, perception, and psychological maneuvering at a level rarely seen in contemporary hip-hop. Drake, known for his quick adaptability, viral prowess, and ability to dominate streaming platforms, was preparing to start round 2. But the challenge he faced was more than just lyrical. Kendrick Lamar isn't a typical opponent. His style is deliberate, precise, and conceptually layered, allowing him to anticipate and counter moves in ways that often leave competitors scrambling to respond. The collision between these two approaches set the stage for a confrontation that could read viral lines and cultural timing that keeps fans engaged and media attention focused squarely on him. This ability to stay relevant has been a cornerstone of his career, and his camp is banking on it to provide an advantage tonight. The thinking is simple. By striking first and leveraging cultural relevance, Drake can assert control over the narrative before Kendrick has a chance to respond. Yet insiders caution that momentum alone isn't a guarantee when facing someone as calculated and patient as Kendrick. Momentum can create overconfidence, and overconfidence can lead to critical missteps, especially in a situation this heavily scrutinized. Kendrick's approach couldn't be more different. He is known for crafting responses that operate on multiple layers, from lyrical dexterity to conceptual depth and social commentary. His strength lies in patience, waiting for the precise moment to make his move, then delivering a response that resonates not only in the moment but for months afterward. Kendrick doesn't just react. He analyzes, anticipates, and executes. Sources suggest that his team has spent weeks strategizing, mapping out possible moves, and preparing contingencies. In this high-pressure environment, Kendrick's deliberate methodology may counteract Drake's reliance on immediate momentum, creating a scenario where confidence is tested against precision. The psychological dimension of the showdown cannot be overstated. Drake thrives on real-time engagement. He reads audiences, reacts to cultural trends, and leverages visibility to maintain dominance. But tonight, that instinctual approach might work against him. Kendrick's patience and calculated restraint force his opponents into a reactive mode, where decisions are made under pressure and every public misstep is amplified. Fans and media amplify every perceived victory or failure, turning even subtle reactions into viral moments. Drake's team is reportedly aware of this and has been emphasizing focus, control, and mental readiness to navigate the intense scrutiny. Social media has transformed what might have been a private or low-key exchange into a global spectacle. Every snippet, Instagram story, cryptic lyric, or comment is dissected, memed, and debated endlessly. In such an environment, perception is as important as execution. Drake has to not only deliver musically but also manage the optics of his performance. A single misread, poorly timed verse, or reaction that doesn't land could dominate the narrative for weeks. Kendrick, on the other hand, thrives in these situations because his methodical, composed approach allows him to manipulate public perception without appearing reactive, turning the audience's anticipation into a strategic advantage. Industry insiders suggest that behind-the-scenes dynamics are as critical as the public display. Reports indicate that studio sessions leading up to tonight's moment have been tense, with debates over sequencing, delivery, and messaging. Drake's camp is reportedly focusing on capitalizing on his current momentum, hoping that a strong, confident performance will set the tone. Kendrick's camp, however, is focused on patience and precision, understanding that a single miscalculation from Drake could tip the balance in their favor. This strategic tension illustrates that the showdown is as much about mental acuity and planning as it is about lyrical skill. The stakes go beyond ego and public perception. They touch on legacy. Drake has spent decades building a career defined by adaptability, chart dominance, and cultural influence. A misstep tonight could cast shadows over that legacy, shaping narratives in ways that might linger far longer than immediate social media reactions. Kendrick's historical ability to control timing, messaging, and execution provides him with a significant strategic edge. Every decision, from line delivery to public statements, can be leveraged to shift the narrative, underscoring the high-risk nature of Drake's decision to confront him tonight. Beyond strategy and psychology, the situation also highlights a broader cultural tension. Fans don't just want music, they want drama, narratives, and proof of dominance. Social media has turned these artistic confrontations into global spectacles, and every nuance is amplified. Drake's decision to initiate round 2 demonstrates ambition and confidence, but it also exposes him to the kind of scrutiny where minor errors can be weaponized. Kendrick's controlled, calculated approach ensures that even under intense pressure, he maintains the ability to guide perception and influence interpretation. Ultimately, tonight is a test of more than skill. It's a test of judgment, timing, and composure under extraordinary scrutiny. Drake has the talent, resources, and influence to make a significant impact, but Kendrick has consistently shown that precision, patience, and strategic insight often outweigh momentum and confidence. The world is watching, social media is buzzing, and every line, delivery, and gesture will be analyzed for meaning. In this environment, the outcome isn't just determined by lyrical ability, it's shaped by psychological acuity, strategic planning, and the capacity to perform flawlessly under pressure. As the moment draws near, one thing is clear. Tonight isn't just another clash of talent. It's a high-stakes collision between two approaches to artistry, strategy, and legacy. Drake's ambition meets Kendrick's precision in a scenario where history, perception, and cultural dominance all hang in the balance. The world waits to see whether confidence and momentum can overcome patience and precision, and whether this confrontation will redefine the conversation around two of hip-hop's most influential figures. Every second, every line, and every move counts, and the ripple effects will be felt far beyond the music itself. As the night of the anticipated showdown arrived, the intensity surrounding Drake and Kendrick Lamar reached a fever pitch. Months of speculation, social media debates, and Kendrick doesn't respond impulsively. He studies the environment, the audience, and his opponent, waiting for the exact moment to strike. Sources suggest that his team had spent weeks planning for multiple scenarios, ensuring that every response could maximize impact, both lyrically and psychologically. Tonight wasn't just a display of skill. It was a calculated performance, one in which precision, timing, and public perception were as critical as musical talent. Kendrick's ability to anticipate moves and control the narrative under immense scrutiny made him uniquely formidable. From the outset, the clash demonstrated the contrast between the two approaches. Drake relied on energy, immediacy, and crowd engagement, trying to seize momentum and assert his dominance early. He delivered his lines with confidence, aiming to set the tone and dictate the rhythm of the confrontation. But Kendrick remained composed, analyzing each bar, each reaction, and each audience response before deciding how to respond. The tension wasn't just in the lyrics. It was in the timing, the pauses, the emphasis, and the silent psychological interplay. Fans watching in real time could feel the intensity, as if each second held the potential to tip the balance. Social media amplified every nuance. Fans dissected facial expressions, bar delivery, and body language, creating an echo chamber where perception sometimes mattered as much as execution. Analysts debated who was winning each moment, while memes and viral clips spread like wildfire. Drake's reliance on momentum was being tested in real time, and the pressure of public scrutiny only added to the challenge. Meanwhile, Kendrick's measured approach allowed him to let the audience anticipate his moves, building tension and enhancing the impact of each strategic decision. In this environment, patience became a weapon, and anticipation a tool of psychological dominance. Behind the scenes, the stakes extended beyond personal pride. This confrontation was about legacy, cultural influence, and control over hip-hop's narrative. Drake had to consider not only the immediate performance but also the long-term consequences. One misstep could shift public opinion, dominate headlines, and overshadow future releases. Kendrick, however, operates in a way that allows him to control timing and narrative subtly, turning perceived pressure into advantage. His history of strategic patience suggested that, no matter how assertive Drake's approach, there was a high likelihood that Kendrick could manipulate the outcome in his favor. The psychological tension between the two artists was as evident as their lyrical skill. Drake's instinct to act decisively and dominate the moment collided with Kendrick's strategy of measured response. The interplay of these approaches created a dynamic in which the battle was as much about mindset and control as it was about talent. Every verse, every pause, and every audience reaction carried weight, and both artists understood that tonight's outcome could redefine how history remembered them. Momentum versus precision, confidence versus patience. The stakes couldn't have been higher. As the final moments unfolded, it became apparent that this confrontation was more than a test of musical ability. It was a study in strategy, perception, and psychological acuity. Drake's ambition and assertiveness were impressive, but Kendrick's patience, precision, and narrative control created an environment in which confidence alone was insufficient. Every move by Drake was counted subtly, every display of energy measured against Kendrick's calm, calculated execution. The tension kept the audience on edge, and analysts quickly realized that this wasn't a typical rap battle. It was a high-level strategic duel. By the end of the night, the confrontation had shifted the cultural conversation. Drake's attempt to assert momentum demonstrated his confidence and skill, but Kendrick's measured approach highlighted the importance of strategy, patience, and control over perception. Fans and industry insiders were left analyzing not just the music but the psychological dynamics, narrative control, and cultural implications. The clash served as a reminder that in hip-hop, skill and talent are critical, but understanding timing, strategy, and audience perception can be equally decisive. Ultimately, tonight was about legacy. Drake proved his ability to command attention and leverage momentum, but Kendrick reinforced why precision, patience, and calculated execution define enduring influence in hip-hop. The showdown wasn't just about who had the better bars. It was a lesson in strategy, perception, and the power of timing. Both artists emerged with lessons and insights that will shape the genre for years, proving that in the collision of two rap titans, every move counts, and every second has the potential to redefine history. Tonight's showdown between Drake and Kendrick Lamar wasn't just about music. It was a masterclass in strategy, timing, and legacy. Fans witnessed how momentum, confidence, and charisma clash with precision, patience, and calculated execution. Every bar, pause, and reaction carried weight, proving that hip-hop is as much about psychology and narrative control as it is about talent. This moment reminded the world that even the biggest names face challenges where preparation, insight, and composure can determine outcomes as much as raw skill. If you want to stay on top of every update from this epic clash, analysis of the strategy, and reactions from fans and industry insiders, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts. Who do you think came out stronger? And what lessons can artists learn from tonight? Turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown of these high-stakes moments in hip-hop history, and be part of the conversation shaping the culture.